pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good evening, everyone. On tonight's agenda, we have a non-public at 6:30. We have minutes to approve, a private road agreement to execute, discussion on a cap on our workman's comp with Primex, a potential DOT grant for the replacement of the bridge at Taylor Road. And we were scheduled to have a discussion with Mindy Buxton, the pool director, and we received a resignation from her this afternoon. So this evening, we have Brianna, pronounce the last one? Bowlers.
Yeah, it's a little tricky.
I saw the spelling and I didn't know how to. Interested in resuming the duties of the pool director. And can you just update the board on your experience and your intentions?
Sure, yeah, so this is my fourth year with the pool. Currently, I'm pool coordinator, so Mindy and I were working closely together. She was handling more the finances, looking at the budget, ordering chemicals, things like that, and I was handling the scheduling and more of the direct part with the guards. But obviously, one can't get done without the other, and where we're trying to open right now, having her not present is going to slow things down quite a bit, so I'd be looking to take over if I can, just to keep things on track for the season.
Okay.
Who would take over your position?
In years past, it's kind of been one position. The pool director, pool coordinator split was when Liz left, so I don't know.
Do you feel that you could do both and not really have any hiccup?
I feel that way. I don't think it would be too much of a challenge. Obviously, I'd have to learn a little bit as I go, the more administrative side of it, but I've had experience with the pool and I'm very organized as far as scheduling goes, so that should be easy enough.
Are you a certified pool operator?
I will be this Friday. My course
Okay.
is this Thursday and Friday.
Okay.
And as far as running the activities, you feel confident in being able to?
Yes. Yep, I feel extremely confident in the pool coordinator side of it. Just the pool director side, the more administrative pieces, stuff I might need help with along the way, but
Okay.
as long as it can get done, yeah.
Okay. Appreciate you stepping forward.
Yeah, as do I.
Yeah,
That's a bit of a scramble, but
yeah. And at least we'll be able to have the pool open.
yeah. Yes.
I want to get on to another point, and we're going to come back to this, but one of the things that I had read in the paper last week, there was an announcement of the pool hour times. And in this year's budget, money was added in there to have the pool open on Sundays. And the advertisement announcement said that it was not going to be open on Sundays. And I don't know if, I know the Ledger did not misprint it. So, are you?
Didn't know that there was money in the budget to open Sundays. Personally, I don't think it would make much of a difference. Even Saturdays, sometimes are hit or miss. We don't have a lot of patrons coming down Saturdays as it is. So I think Sundays we'd see even less. That's just my take on it. I didn't know there was money in the budget for that. So.
We had an audience member we call him the fourth selectman here, Dave, who's told us that he has always heard that, why isn't it open on Sunday? Because when you think that people really have 2 days off and we're shutting it down
For one.
50%,
Yeah.
but I think at least if we can try and, by
Yeah,
all means, if the
absolutely.
turnout doesn't happen, then
Then,
we can
Makes sense.
make a change. Here he goes.
Welcome
Mr. Kotzer.
back. Ask Jay if the pool was open. He lived right next door to the pool for many
Oh,
years.
come on, we can't go
Was it
back
open
50
Sundays?
years.
Yeah.
With a lot of patrons there?
As a kid, I didn't really look around and notice, but
Yeah, but
yeah, it was usually open 7 days a week for the 3
Yes.
months it was open.
Wow.
okay.
Yeah.
Sounds good. The best, on Saturdays, we're open 12 to 4. Do you think that would be the best time to open Sundays as well?
Sure.
That's my next
Yeah.
question, yeah, what
Yeah.
would you open for hours?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think 12 to 4
Yeah.
on
Yeah.
Saturday
Yeah.
would be best.
Yeah.
Sure.
Mhm. So do you think the ledge will be able to get that in addition next week, that they'll be open
Sounds like
Sundays?
a good brief notice for us.
Yeah, just something to the point. Thank you.
One of my concerns was your pool, certified pool operator, but that's done on Friday, so
Yep.
that's a good thing.
David?
One more question, whoever becomes pool director, that porta potty, I don't know if that's been taken care of, but
Right outside the pool?
yes,
Yeah.
the big one.
I
It
don't think
was,
it has.
It is,
Oh.
that is actually, it's part of
Parks and Rec.
Parks and Recs, and
Yeah.
it has been addressed, so it will be taken care of.
that was.
Yep.
I don't get it, but.
It's been addressed by, to the Director of Park and Recs, and she's gonna be taking care of it.
Yes.
It was like that for a long
Mhm.
time.
It'll be resolved.
Drill a hole in the bottom of it.
No, no. I'd like, whereas Brianna's stepping up to do this, is that, and I know we've already expended some of the stipend for the pool director, but I'd still like to be able to offer her the full stipend for taking over the season where we really haven't started, which it's $3,000. I don't know if you're aware of that or
I
not.
was not, that was my next question. What was the pay like for that?
Yeah, yeah, and that was
And it's
for the,
just stipend, there's no hourly rate with that.
correct,
Mhm.
yeah, yeah.
But I understand you worked last week,
I did, yeah.
so you'd be compensated for the hours you worked
Yeah.
last week.
At my pool coordinator position, I have the stipend, and then I get paid hourly as well when I'm guarding or teaching lessons at the pool.
Mhm.
So,
Do you see yourself that you'll be still guarding?
yeah, with not having as many guards, there's really no way for us to do it without. I would honestly love to not teach lessons. I just get really cold in the mornings, but we don't have enough people simply. So I'm right now scheduled for about 25 hours a week in order to make lessons, and
Do we need more guards?
it wouldn't hurt, but we can do it with what we have.
How many do you
Okay.
have?
Right now we have 9 on staff. A lot of them are really tricky with hours. People are really busy, so I have some people that can only work 2 days a week, some people that
Mhm.
can only work 1 shift a day kind of thing, so it's a little tricky, but as of right now, it's okay.
Okay, if you see that you don't have, please let Joanne know, and if we need to run an ad or post it on a,
I think it's
Job
on the
site.
Town of Ipswich page right now. I think there's still something up about.
It is, yeah.
guards.
Mhm.
okay, okay.
Back to the stipend, have we taken monies out of that stipend?
We have,
Mm-hmm.
How much have we?
Roughly to date, I'm gonna say in the $560 range.
So how can we make that up?
Out of the overall budget.
Okay, as long as it's in there somewhere, right?
So you're not gonna do the
615,
coordinator?
615.
so you won't be paying a coordinator. So,
Yeah, but by all means, not now, but we'll sit down with you, go through the budget, and I want you to be able to feel comfortable with it. I think that would be
So
the
we'll be
easiest way.
paying Brianna the pool director's stipend,
The full
Yes.
plus an
3,000.
hourly rate for doing guarding. Is that where, for lifeguarding? Because we've eliminated her coordinator's position,
Yes.
apparently.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. You all right with that?
So we'd be eliminating the coordinator position altogether and it would just be the pool director position.
Yeah, because, let me just, I don't know if you know the history, but I'm already losing track of time. Maybe 2 years ago, I think it was, when Liz was around, it was just, and that's the way it had always been. And when we were speaking with Mindy on the Parks and Recs, the discussion evolved, why don't we have one person oversee that whole facility? Park, rec, pool, and that's what she thought she could make it work, but then not having the knowledge and experience on the pool end, thought, well, if I could get a coordinator for that, like she has a coordinator for softball or soccer, whatever it may be. We thought, okay, if we can make the numbers work, then that's what we would do. But if we're reverting back now where we have a separate park and rec director,
Separate pool director.
yeah.
So-
I wanted you to be aware of that there is
Okay,
some shuffling of the cards here.
gotcha. And what would
Yeah.
happen with the pool coordinator stay then?
That just becomes part of the salary line items,
Okay.
yeah.
Which is included in that now.
Okay.
There's no like broken line item that says just for the coordinator.
Yeah,
It's all included in the salary line item,
Okay.
so.
So she's gonna get 3,000 and
And an hourly
then
wage?
an hourly wage?
when she's guarding.
What's your
Yeah.
currently hourly wage?
It's 9.
Okay.
You go with
I
that?
think that's fair,
Yeah, yeah.
I do, I believe
Okay.
that's.
Tim?
Yeah, can you just put a time sheet in for when you actually guard?
Yes, I've been doing that, yeah.
Okay, just continue doing that so that we know what hours you're getting paid for, so. I have no issues with that. Motion?
Any questions that you have for us?
I'd just like to pick a time, I guess, to sit down and kind of just go over, I don't know if you know your availability, but I could,
Name a time.
does any time tomorrow work?
How about,
Well, I could meet with her tomorrow as a liaison of the pool.
done?
I'm your liaison, by the way,
Okay,
so I am available during the day,
okay.
probably early afternoon,
Um,
10 o'clock tomorrow morning,
10 sounds good,
all right?
Very good.
And we'll meet here
sounds
at
good.
Town Hall.
Thank you for stepping up.
No problem.
Yeah,
Thank you.
We appreciate it.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Have a good one.
Take care.
Good night. We have a private road agreement here to execute. Can pass that along.
I read it.
Thank you. I'll make a motion on that.
I don't know if this is on all of them. It says the third,
Oh,
instead of the second.
okay. Fix that.
I hate to admit this, but I don't know where Westbrook Drive is. I thought I knew.
Westbrook,
Yeah.
where Page Hill makes the sharp left,
Oh, yeah.
Straight ahead.
okay, Yeah.
yeah.
I said, no, the road in Ipswich. So I should.
Did you sign this one? Yes.
Yeah.
So I'll make the motion to accept the private road agreement and release to,
We just need to sign it.
just sign it?
Yeah,
All right, that one's all set.
take a motion on that
Yep.
stuff, though.
Make a motion to accept the Board of Selectmen's meetings for May 23rd, both public and non-public.
So,
All in favor?
All right,
Aye.
flip this one over.
I knew there was somewhere else.
The Primex has forwarded to us three proposals, which they call their CAP, Contribution Assurance Program, with maximum cap increases if we assure them that we will continue with them on our workers' comp policy for the next 3 years. Actually, for the year 2018, 19, and 20. 18 being all 3 years being a maximum increase of 8%. 18 to 20, and if we did 19 to 21 for the property and liability, it would be a maximum of 7%.
But then it would lock us into
Per
not,
year,
not being able to go look elsewhere.
per year, you're talking
Per
percentage
year.
of increase?
Correct.
But it would lock us into Primex and not being able to go look someplace else for a better rate.
I don't,
And I know we had this discussion last year, and that was the biggest thing, was it didn't allow us to go look anywhere else.
yeah,
Should it
I,
go up, and our increase,
24%
Wasn't
increase is a
significant.
substantial amount of money.
but our increases haven't been that much over the last 2 years.
Under the top and the pencil, the top, the top.
What are those numbers again?
That's what we're paying now. So we've actually seen a decrease from 16 to 17
Well, that's on our
on
workers'
workman's
comp.
comp
Yeah.
in a very,
I think the decrease was because we got that big credit.
On the workers' comp, yeah. But,
and about a $1,400 increase in property liability.
and on that one there, didn't we go out to bid on that one last year?
No, just the health.
Just the health?
What other carrier has
No,
it?
you're right, David, we did do that one.
I thought we did
Yeah, because I thought
property
the other one
liability went out to
stopped.
bid.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry.
What other carrier has the town used in the past, or is it?
Well, we used to have the LGC, which is no longer allowed to do that.
Okay, how long has the town had Primex? Is that,
Well, Primex on the property liability, I think we just picked them up last year. Isn't that the one that we dropped from the LGC? Because the LGC could no longer do it, so.
okay.
But we've had Primex on the workers' comp as long as I can remember.
So the track record with us must be decent if we've hung on to them for that long.
Well, so this is.
But
the
I'm
work-
like,
that's
your
workman's
thought is
comp.
that, hey,
I know.
I don't wanna commit to that anything, you
Well,
know?
and that's where I am
And
too.
would lock us into into it for the next 3 years and
Yeah.
not being able to go look elsewhere if it
Yeah, I,
went too high.
Yeah,
no,
okay,
I'd be opposed to signing it.
okay. You agree? Primex. This was a bit of good news we received this week is, for those of you that may or may not be aware or have not been following, New Ipswich has been part of a group of towns that have been in a legal case with Eversource over the assessment of the value of their infrastructures in the town. Since, I think this went back to 2011. And they had appealed the towns, not just New Ipswich, but other towns, how it was gonna get assessed. And the Board of Tax and Land Appeals agreed with the towns. Eversource took it to the Supreme Court, and they've issued a decision that the way the towns wanted to do it and the way the Board of Tax and Land Appeals have recommended that they be assessed, be held. So we're hoping that this is the end of this case, and whereas it went to the Supreme Court, we're presuming that there won't be any more appeals, but that was better, good news. The other item I'd like to mention this evening is we received from the New Hampshire Division of Public Health Services an official New Hampshire health alert, and this pertains to emerging tick-borne diseases in New Hampshire. And we will have this posted on our website. It's a little lengthy, but the bottom line is be cautious of ticks that are out there. There are many different diseases they have listed here of, that you can get, and I guess there are different varieties of ticks. So please be cautious, and we will have this posted on our website. The next item pertains to the New Hampshire Department of Transportation has sent us a preliminary estimate of the cost to replace, they refer to it as a bridge, but they're culverts at the Taylor Road Bridge that has been closed off currently with no access. Their estimate for the project is $685,000, and of which the state aid bridge program would pay $548,000, and the town would be responsible for $137,000. But before we all get excited, this money isn't available until at least 2025. I think that we should still submit an application for it. Not that I think it would make that much of a difference, but there has been in the House and the Senate, and I think they've both approved it so far. Both with funds that are available in the budget somewhere, increasing a distribution to the towns of approximately $30 million for highway block grant for improvement of roads, and another $3 or $4 million to go into this bridge aid program. So maybe that might tick off a few bridges
Yeah.
sooner, but.
Oh, I think we'd be foolish if we didn't
Yeah.
get an application for it, absolutely. How long's that bridge been closed now? Is it maybe 4 years, 5 years? So what's 8 more, you know? The people on the road love it.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that.
Yeah.
They like that being closed, so,
Yeah.
I certainly can't see that the town would be, having the ability, without having an impact on the rate, to go ahead and replace that bridge.
Does
Is
anybody
there somebody
mind-
volunteering to pay for that bridge?
No, but, does anybody mind that bridge being out?
Mind it.
Initially, David, I heard people all the time saying, when are you gonna fix that bridge? It's a cut through. We like to have that coming out of the Benny Hill area. It's been so long now, I think people
Well,
probably
it takes you,
forgot.
what, 30 seconds to go around?
Exactly, yes, yeah.
But it seems to me, $685,000
$85,000,
is a lot of money to spend on something that nobody even cares if it's open or closed.
Well, I think it should be open. I mean, if it's a secondary route to get to a populated area, how do you get to Page Hill if something goes wrong with Smithville?
If we
You don't
lose the
get
bridge
there.
at Smithville, you know.
You know?
It's a paved road also.
It's paved.
Yeah.
You're wasting a paved road.
Yeah.
that-
Yeah,
I
and
just thought
it's not paved very well.
No, not right now, the road's in
use the money
serious
somewhere
disrepair.
else.
Yeah, but I mean,
To
if,
me, nobody complains about that bridge being
Oh.
closed.
There's several different types
Yeah.
of bridges you can look at as well that may be cheaper, right?
yeah, well, typically, I know we had the one done down at Tricknick, and it was
Yeah, box culvert.
precast box
Yeah.
culvert, yeah, which,
But you know, initially, David, everybody wanted that bridge open, but I haven't heard much lately, to be honest.
Yeah.
okay, we're running a little behind, but we have a non-public, which was scheduled for 6:30. When we come out, we will continue the public session.
Question on,
Huh?
the non-publics, or I guess I've mentioned this in the past, but I'd like to somehow see us slide the non-publics to the backside of the meeting, so that if there are things that we're gonna discuss after that, Ron might be here, or the public might have the ability to, get the whole meeting in, so.
But if we knew when that would be, that,
And I thought this would be the end.
yeah.
Oh,
I
okay.
didn't think you'd be coming back after this. I mean, this is just the ongoing list, just keeps on going.
Well, we gotta talk about when we're gonna be doing it.
I mean, if we can keep it in mind when we do
Yeah.
this, that's, I mean, cause now we've chased out the fourth selectman.
Oh, he'll get over it.
Not yet, though, we haven't,
Not officially.
Make a motion.
Make a motion, enter non-public session 91A3, section 2C. Matters of which discussed in public would likely affect adversely the reputation of any person.
second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I haven't in my email, so.
Well, wait a minute. Your brother's on, are you the
Heritage,
liaison? Heritage?
Yeah.
No. Are you? You're not the
Yes, I'm the
liaison, are
liaison
you?
to Heritage.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have they done anything?
I don't know what they've done since I told them keys were available here. I did have a
Okay.
message on my machine that Fran left me, and I had left, of course, before, so she left a message when I got home, the meeting was over, so I didn't make that one. And
Okay.
Other than that, I haven't heard anything.
I don't think they've actually met, because they haven't had a quorum.
Really.
Yeah.
Well, that one meeting, there was 7 of us, and now they can't get 4.
Yeah, she just came in the other day, because I gave her a fob, because she could get in.
Yeah, I think that's part of the.
She said they were gonna meet last week, and there was not enough people.
You gave Fran the fob?
I gave Fran a fob,
Why?
because when they meet, they need to be able to get in.
Yeah, but I thought your brother was the chairman.
I don't know if he,
Well,
He's
doesn't
not?
have,
I don't know if he is or not.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought,
Well, he was, there was only the two of them that were active at one time, Mark and, was
No.
it Fran?
no, it was Mark, Fran, Jim. We appointed 5. They had all volunteered. Carmen,
and Stanford Lawn.
Stanford, yes, yes,
Okay.
yeah.
I gave it to her because she's,
The most active.
yes,
Yeah, that would be the way to put it, and
and she can give it to him.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah, I was just
I think if
curious
a
why.
vote was taken at a meeting.
Yeah.
And Mark was asked, do you really wanna do this, or would you be offended if Fran did it?
He'd be
Say,
offended, I know it.
No, I don't think he would, so, anyway, I'm gonna bring it up the next meeting, should I be invited to another one.
Could you just make a call maybe and see if they can,
Meet?
yeah, and, you know, this Heritage Committee was so hot, you know, when it was to get it on the ballot and then to go almost 2 years and not have,
Anything going on?
yeah, yeah. And the other thing I had Joanne add on the bottom of our agenda here is, I think we should look at all the committees that are in the town report, because some of them I think are like inactive, that we should probably officially disband or make a decision on what we should be doing.
I've been asked by a couple people actually about the road committee.
Yeah.
What's going on with the road committee? I don't know. So,
I think at last year's meeting, the board has decided that the Board of Selectmen would decide which roads would be the priority for paving. And I think that's pretty much what the road committee was doing.
yeah, I don't know what they were doing, but I've been asked by 2 different people what's going on with it. One gentleman mentioned me, hey, you know, your road committee, if you're looking for anybody, I'd be interested to serve on it.
Yeah, yeah. And I remember Marcus Radiola was one of the members on, and he had asked me, oh, what's going on with the road committee? I said, well, the board decided that we think we can make the decisions on what the priorities would be. And he said, oh, good, as long as somebody's following through to make sure that the roads, the program keeps going, was a big concern. And I think we've been fortunate to have the voters vote for the monies and keep it going. Speaking of which, we had a price proposal from the company that we awarded that paving to, and which was below the warrant article value. And previous to receiving the bids for that project, I had asked Peter to, look at what roads we could do and couldn't do, and I says, look, we're getting I think it was 37,000 from the block grant, highway block grant. I said, why can't we take, 50,000 of that and put it towards the paving if we can pave more roads? So I've asked him to look at, we were doing Greenville Road.
Mm-hmm.
Well, where it changes to Temple, just, how much further up the road can we come if we were to do that? Is that something you guys would be
Well, I
interested
mean,
in?
Should we do, say, a road like Greenbrier and Beechwood that feed onto Temple, and then next year do Temple with 124 to the,
See, I'm thinking if we can keep doing that main collector road, and once you've got the collector roads done, let's start doing spurs,
Valid point, yeah.
the other roads, but I don't wanna do a new road and dump them onto a lousy road.
no, good point. Yeah.
I'd like to just see that we're doing whole roads, not just pieces of roads either,
Well,
so.
Greenville Road is,
No, what I mean is
Yeah.
if you're gonna keep coming down Temple Road and you're only gonna get a quarter of it done, and,
Yeah, let you get as far as
Just-
Vanguard, yeah.
if you're
Yeah.
gonna do it, I'd like to see, like, that size of a road, do the whole road. I mean, if we don't have the funds for it, then wait until next year to do it.
so then what do you do with the funds that you do have that could do paving?
What other roads are we looking at?
Well, I'm running
Or
roads
where else
through my
can we
head, and
use-
we
Yeah.
don't really have a lot of main roads that need paving. If
Correct.
I think about it, I'm trying to,
It's the balance
What
of
roads-
Lower Ashby Road.
And
I
can we
think there
not
was a
use that
section
money
there
to
that wasn't
patch roads?
paved.
from the bridge to,
No, that money
When?
that was voted in the warrant article is for the reconstruction and paving of the roads. It's not for patching. The patching money comes out of that highway block
can come out of
grant.
that block grant.
Yeah.
I mean, if we wanted to, we could, use that highway block grant and just run a shim layer over Taylor Road,
I
'cause
think that was
thing's-
done this week.
They shim Taylor? Fantastic, good, I hope they
Yeah.
swept it and tacked it, but.
Well, they were supposed to have done to Taylor, and although now that it rained this, maybe it didn't happen.
Yeah, they-
Like they did to Appleton last
Yeah.
year or the year before,
Yeah.
that.
yeah,
Yeah.
sweep, that was swept, but it was never tacked.
Yeah,
But,
yeah.
I mean, it'd be nice if they could tack them.
But that's been, tax not gonna,
Well, it does, it helps a little bit.
yeah.
I think it does, but, talking about roads, next year I would like to see us do less,
Why?
because the roads that we do have are being neglected. We're all able to work on during the summer months is the road we wanna pave. We're not getting the ditching done that we should get done, we're not high limit anything. If you drove over Greenbrier, over, Joanne's Road, Gibbs and Ken, you couldn't go through there with your horse trailer, you'd be whacking branches off the roof of it. So, what it is, and I know these guys are busy, it's nobody's fault, but everything else is getting neglected to prep for pavement.
But that shouldn't be an issue, because we have people that are not working on those roads or the culverts. I mean, if you look at the schedules that he provides and looking
I
at the
haven't
time
seen that,
cards,
no.
there should have
I do look at the
been
time
one,
cards.
it's in his folder.
In the general folder?
Oh, the general folder, yeah.
Okay.
I don't think you
No, I don't have it.
But
It's over
I
there.
mean, I have looked and I see patching
But
that's done, but I don't see a whole lot of,
Well, and I'm gonna go back to last year. Tom, all he was doing all summer was they rented the mower to go down and mow the sides of the roads, make the intersections visible and whatnot. That's being done. I know they are grading and working on roads, for example, and I know because I got a complaint, but culverts on Collins Road, they worked on this week.
I saw that in the time cards,
Yeah.
yeah. But, see, to do them both at the same time, I don't think you can. I don't think we can work our pavement project plus do our general maintenance. 'Cause we don't have a big enough crew, for one, and it's just.
Well,
so
we've
many
been doing it
roads.
now for 7 years, 8
Yeah,
years.
well,
I'd hate to not continue
But you look at-
improving the roads.
But look at this
I'm
year.
not saying not to pave.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that, but instead of paving $600,000 worth, let's do $350,000 worth. You know, you're still doing your paving, but now you've got time to do other things as well. I had somebody corner me today, that's just with this whole discussion, and I've thought it for years. Everybody, all the efforts are putting into Page Hill right now. None of the other roads are getting maintenance.
But that's not true. Do you agree or not?
Well, to a point, I agree, but there's just so much to do as far as every road in town could be ditched. You know, culverts could be cleaned, there's limbing to do, you know, every dirt road in the town of Ipswich is, the roads.
Has
the
been
roads-
graded twice.
And we've been raining off and on, and they're all
And I
washboard
get,
and
I
ditched
get all
now,
that.
and need to be
I've
done
been
again.
there.
Yeah.
I've been there, I
So-
understand that. But when the road's lower than the ditch, you're gonna forever have that problem.
Mhm.
So it's great that the roads are being graded, but if they're not being graded right, why are we grading them? Look at your dirt roads, and I'm not beating up on anybody, trust me, cause I ran the grader, and I'm not a grader operator. But if you don't crown them and you don't keep your ditches clean, you'll be grading your dirt roads every 2 weeks. You shouldn't have to.
Right, but right now, Jay, what we have found in prior years is that when we get out of the rainy season and they grade the roads,
Mhm.
ditch them, roll them, and put the calcium,
Mhm.
compliments galore from the people.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Right now, we haven't had that opportunity. So what they've been doing, because I've had this discussion with Peter,
Mhm.
is, you know, when they do have a dry day, get out there on the grader and at least grade and roll the road to keep it.
And I understand that, and that's good, but don't be ruining the road at the same time, and that's what we've done to a lot of our dirt roads. If you had somebody ride around them that knows dirt roads, our roads are, there's no crown to them, our ditches are full, the water can't get off the road, that's why we have the problems we have.
So then that's more of a corrective process, right? Having the grader
I mean, I know you
operator,
guys are thinking I'm beating up on the highway.
No,
department, and I'm
I-
not,
I
I'm
wanna
not beating
be-
up on them guys.
whatever, the bottom line is, we've gotta make sure our roads are good, and I agree with you.
Yeah, and what's happened, and it's just because of lack of training, it's nobody's fault, but there isn't a grader operator down there. So they're doing it the best they can, but when you're doing that, you're ruining your roads because you're learning at the same time.
And that's something we're gonna have to do. We're not gonna go out and hire a person to do it, but I know, there is a class scheduled for
Mhm.
2 of the employees. on-
Jonathan and Herb going up, I think.
Herb, yeah, yeah.
That's good, I think that's fantastic,
Yeah.
but
But in the meantime, I've asked Peter how are they doing, and he says they're doing well, you know, for not
well, yeah,
been a grader operator. Everybody's gonna start at some point.
absolutely, I did.
And in
I-
our case, it's
I
2 at the same
ruined-
time.
I ruined a road, and I was in an absolute panic at noontime going, I gotta put this back together, how am I gonna do this? And you figure it out.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it comes to a point where he's gotta get somebody in a grader that knows what they're doing, because you shouldn't have to grade your roads every 2 or 3 weeks. If you grade a road twice a year, 3 times a year at the most, that's it.
And that's why we budgeted this year to grade, roll, and calcium twice.
Yeah.
We figured
Yeah,
originally it was gonna be, you know, a May
yeah, this is,
time, but
you can't, I understand.
we're not
with this
there
kind of
yet,
rain.
yeah.
But that's just my thought going forward as far as the paving, I almost think we do too much. So, that's me. I'm one of 3.
What if you put the culverts out to bid, and somebody else do them instead of the town doing them?
I mean, you could to see what they'd get you to change them out. I don't know what they'd charge, you have any idea, being in what it would charge to,
Oh, say a typical 24-foot crossing,
most of them are 40,
you've gotta be,
usually 2 lengths of pipe. Anyway, that's what we were doing, cause we were trying to get some shoulders,
gotta be probably $150 a foot,
you think so?
you know, yeah.
That would be material, or you think?
Yeah, yeah.
I'm
At
just thinking,
least,
cause you're right,
yeah.
you know, you're looking at trying to get more done.
But see, I'm thinking in my mind, if they-
Yeah, on the roads that we have,
Right.
I'd like to see us continue to maintain the ones we have,
Mhm.
and at the same time,
Still paving roads.
yeah, fixing roads that need to be fixed, certainly.
Mhm.
See, at that point, I wouldn't say that we're better off to subcontract out the culverts. What I would say is I'd hire another employee to do the grading. Because while they're putting in the culverts, the grade is sitting down there not working.
The grader's
You know?
sitting, the rake's sitting, and the roller's sitting.
Yeah.
If you hire a guy that can run a roller and a rake, and a roller and a grader, you send him out on your dirt roads for
Yeah.
the summer
Yeah.
and let him take care of all of them,
Mm-hmm.
so.
Well, come budget season,
Just-
we can,
Yeah, just a thought going forward.
Yeah. uh,
Where are we schedule-wise? I know it's rained for the last 7 weeks, so.
they still been working on the culverts
On
up
cul-
on Page Hill, the
Good,
culverts
good.
on,
Yeah.
Collins.
Yeah,
I know they graded Timber Top, Stoll, Old Wilton, you know, they're trying to hit the roads and they are rolling them. But not calcium yet.
yeah, and
You have anything, Joanne, that I'm missing, or that you have?
No, I think you covered everything I had.
you relayed that message to Pete, Joanne, about Mrs. Mackey calling me, Willard Road.
Oh, I did, yeah,
You know, I don't know if he did anything or not, I haven't been over there, so.
I don't know.
Regards to just the road itself.
No, Mrs. Mackey called me and, said the culvert at the end of her driveway was plugged up, causing the ditch line to be full and overwash and all kinds of stuff.
Gotcha.
I think driveway culverts, it's a gray area whether the town owns them or the resident owns them.
It's supposed to be the residents, but the town has been,
That's what I thought, but
Yeah.
I've been in the habit of cleaning them out for the last 30 years, so
Mm.
I think we have to continue to do that.
you have anything else?
I believe you gentlemen are already aware of the lighting issue at Memorial Field,
Mhm.
so that's on a standstill at the moment.
Yeah,
I did have a meeting with the new Park and Recs director last night. Great conversation with her and her crew. I think at this point, we're gonna keep the status quo. No new programs are gonna go in between now and the new year. They have soccer coming up, the basketball camp coming up. It's a chair camp getting ready to start. They have movie night gonna be starting with crafts and swimming, and so I'm gonna be part of that. So they're going to, like I said, they're gonna keep the status quo, what's on the schedule now. Finish out the year and then kinda make their plan
regroup and,
and regroup in the winter and see what they wanna do for the
Mhm.
18 season. I did let her know, you know, start looking at budgets now. You know, your spring season's over, so you know what you've spent this year, so start looking at budget for next year. I did ask her when she starts a program to kind of put her budget together and let us know ahead of time what she needs. And, so we can make sure that everything gets done, so she's, ready to go to start the program, not looking for, funds in the middle of a camp or after the dance has started and that sort of stuff, so. So I think it'll be good. I did let her know that the buildings were scheduled to be worked on and painted this year.
I wanna talk about that, just,
I was gonna say, we kinda had this discussion before, but I didn't know that we made a decision.
well, we did that, first of all, that it should not be painted by the lifeguards.
Correct, yes, I agree 100% with that, yeah.
And it should not be painted by somebody working on it 2 hours a week.
Mhm.
Peter had asked me to go down there and look at it with him, the building. And I'm gonna call it the northeast and southeast corners of that building, which is
Filter room or pool house? Filter house. or
filter
pool
house addition.
Okay, the filter house, the standalone
Yes,
Okay.
yes,
Yeah.
yep. So as you face the filter house, there was an addition put on, which is where you go in, the
Oh,
front
okay, yeah,
door.
yeah, they're
Yeah.
professional now at this point, yeah.
Well, that left-hand corner and the back corner,
Mm-hmm.
with masonry, that addition was built on a concrete slab, which
It shifted.
moves, so that corner has come this way, the other one's going the other way, a little. Peter was saying, oh, we should shore the roof, knock everything down, put in a foundation wall and whatnot. And my feeling was, Peter, the building's not worth that kind of money. If you were gonna do anything, I'd say you demo the whole building and
Start all over.
start all over. But in the meantime, the block has shifted maybe 3/8 of an inch, okay, which ideally, constructed correctly, it shouldn't. But for a storage room that it is, it's not a safety issue. So I've asked him just to, clean out the joints and have the painter fill it with a good sealant, because we know it's still gonna move.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And, get a price proposal to paint them along with the other buildings. He's supposed to come up from our last meeting, a more definitive scope
Building
of
to
work.
building,
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, so, the slab's cracked inside here and there, but they're pretty much just using it as a storage room, because the filter house is called the main house.
Yeah,
Now where that, I won't go into that one. So anyhow, that's,
I wonder what one. Go ahead, you open it
no,
up.
no, no, no.
You open it up,
Did
now I'm gonna sit.
Oh, I'll tell you
and,
about it later, but I'm not.
Did you
gonna
look at
go there.
the T111 on the garage side?
Yeah,
The rotting.
not on, down, I was looking at the T111 on the gable of the,
Yeah.
and it's, it's T111, that's what you get for using that kind
Yeah,
of product.
that's- Yeah,
I didn't look at the other one, is
Okay.
that one totally
To-
delaminated?
Totally rotted.
Yeah,
yeah.
I mean, the
It's gotta
price
be
of a
re-
few
it's gotta be-
sheets
it's
and
gotta
we
be
can have a
replaced, so.
DPW guy
Yeah, yeah,
replace it,
yeah,
it's peanuts,
yeah,
$50 to get the
yeah,
couple of sheets and
yeah.
it's fixed. But
fall apart and go.
Or we could just
yeah.
have them go and get some rough sawn pine and match the,
Oh, yeah.
announcer's booth,
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
yeah, I didn't know that was going up, well, I wasn't a selectman either, but it's quite a
you
building.
didn't come to any of our meetings.
No, I think I came to a few, but Becky told me not to come anymore.
All
So
right.
other than that, I think they will be changing out the porta potty company. So we're supposed to make those couple of phone calls today, so I haven't heard back from her, decide what she's doing with those. So,
There's
but
a
they will
local
not be
guy.
staying with Henniker,
Yeah.
so they'll be.
Who was it now?
She was looking at Dave's, and I think
You
she
see
was
him
calling.
everywhere, that.
I think she was calling one other one, but I think the price of Dave's of what they were quoted, because she still had the quote, the older quote. So
If
There's
it's
a
not
guy
that
down in
number that I
Ashland.
gave you last night,
I think the quote was for $75.
all
But
right,
but yeah, I said,
I'd
a couple of
concede to
dollars
that.
is a couple of dollars. So she was going to call and have a discussion with him and one to at least replace two of them, see if she could get. There's some
Third
talk in the past about getting one for free. So she was going to see if he'd still honor that agreement to do that. So that would give us 3 down there. She did indicate that during soccer season, they're looking at probably 300, 350 people down there
Wow.
during the soccer season, so they will need another porta potty down there. I asked her if it was just for the soccer season, and she said that's the only time that the extra one would be there. So I said, make sure that you put that in the cost of your program when you present it to us.
I think that can come out of that revolving fund.
Right, and that's what I
Yeah,
indicated to her.
yeah,
I said, if you're telling us it's going to cost X amount of dollars to run the program with that porta potty included, I said there should be no issues for it to be able to come out of that revolving account
Yeah.
because the fees that you bring in will cover the cost. Will cover that cost. So, so she's going to put that together before the soccer season. Like I said, she got basketball. They're going to run the basketball camp again this year, and then the cheer. I know the uniforms just came in, so it's going to be coming up pretty quick. So, other than that,
And we're meeting next week to interview the candidates for the facility maintenance position.
Did they,
16?
those that were invited respond? Did we,
Yeah,
We have two?
just two?
Two.
Really?
and two include the new one?
He wanted full-time.
Oh,
So the two local or,
One local, the other one.
Just over the border, correct?
Yeah,
okay, I know
So,
it's two. The other, any reason from the other two, why, you heard nothing at all from the other
no,
It's for full-time, they
one
wanted,
took another job, I think, and I think the other one wanted full-time.
was looking for full-time, so.
two? It was advertised part-time, right?
It was.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Did anybody ever have talked to either Ollie or Michelle at all in regards to
the mowing?
mowing or any issues
I
like
did.
that?
I called Ollie.
I've had a couple of complaints.
Yeah,
so.
well, it all goes back to the person that they hired originally quit before everything ever came to fruition, so it put the cemetery in a bind.
Yep.
They were able to get somebody to mow one of them, but they couldn't get the second one before Memorial Day. They have since hired somebody that will be mowing the cemeteries on a regular basis as soon as the rain stops. So
Yep.
it'll be, this
So it wasn't an.
situation we're in is just a comedy of errors, that's why the cemeteries look like they do.
It wasn't an intentional.
No, it was not an
It wasn't
intentional.
intentional to have them make them
No,
look like
this was
that,
just
so.
a bad situation, that's all,
Okay.
it's not gonna be the norm.
Good.
Yeah.
And the company is the same one that we've
And
hired for the
company,
town.
yes, it'll be, is it, I know the gentleman's name is Jeff Pearl, but I'm not sure of it.
A&A
And
Landscapes.
Proscapes.
Yes, yeah,
Proscape.
we'll be taking care of cemeteries.
Do we wanna set a day and time to continue with the CIP?
We're
Okay.
meeting next week, but we're not meeting the 20th, correct?
We are meeting the 20th,
But we're not meeting the 27th, correct?
correct.
Yeah, I know,
At the moment, we're not
the other
meeting the
week
27th.
schedule didn't ever come to fruition.
Well, they did, except,
Yeah, right, yeah,
except for next week.
yeah, and last week,
That's right.
we weren't supposed to meet last week,
Yeah, that was just,
but we did, anyway. Well, we've got two coming in,
Right, yeah, do you wanna take like an hour and go next week after? We only have two
what else is on the
interviews,
agenda
so
next week, other than the two?
nothing, that was it.
take an hour or so and
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
continue the discussion.
Okay, so don't schedule any. And then we.
Any,
You might need more time next week to do these other three.
oh, we're doing those
Which
next
you're
week?
supposed to-
Yeah,
No, you're doing those tonight. That's what you were supposed to be doing tonight.
What three?
The three department head
not tonight.
Yes, she's right,
evaluation.
today's the 6th, correct? Yeah.
Yep.
'Cause you're
Oh,
gonna be doing
yes,
those on the
yes,
20th.
yep, I've got it here, 6/6, fill out the reviews, and 6/20.
Yeah.
Anything from Becky on the safety manual?
Yes, she said she's not gonna be able to do it, she's gonna give it to me.
Okay. Do you have last year's performance reviews for the departments?
I think we should go into non-public to do those?
Well, no, I'm just asking, cause that's
I would
what I
agree,
had
yeah.
asked
Yeah,
for.
okay.
I gave this to you already. Right? Yes.
This is all I have.
Yeah,
This is a blank one.
that's what I have as well, I have them for,
I only have the blank one.
no, I should have the,
You did? I can go look in the folder, I have mine in my folder if you,
Just make sure it is.
I thought I had, oh, maybe you're right.
I remember giving the blank one.
Yeah.
Why would it give you blank ones?
So that we could just
so
know
that
what
Jay
we were
knew
gonna
what
use.
We were using.
It's okay.
No, I have last year's.
There, I knew I did it.
Okay, as long as I got one copy to go off, that's.
Those are the three I have. Boy, the guy that uses the dinosaur way of communicating, the old hard copy.
It worked.
They come in handy tonight, didn't you? David Dunn back.
Yeah, he's going to look at us. Yeah, he's out, and he's over. And then we have to do a fourth one, because, Chief Lund is now an appointed position, he's not an
Oh,
elected
correct,
position,
yeah.
so we have a fourth one to do.
Mhm.
You need these three done by the 20th.
Correct, yes. And then hers was, we didn't really set a date
Yeah.
for that one,
Really?
so. It was only until March anyways, and there's really no, it's just a performance review, it's not any, like, there's no monetary,
Sure, yeah, and she just,
review for that, at least it, you know. So it's just a performance review.
mhm.
What's he doing down there?
Excuse me?
What's he doing down there?
Still didn't hear you.
He was wondering what she was doing.
Down there.
He was
Oh.
doing.
I gotta get one of them hearing aid devices.
I was trying to be quiet.
I don't think we ever met. One of these says like review in 3 months, review in 6 months, review in 9 months. I don't remember doing any reviews.
You did do
One.
one. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Make the motion to enter non-public session regarding 91A3, section 2C. Matters in which discussed in public would likely affect the university's reputation of any person other than a member of the governing body.
Is there a second?
Second.